Okay. What were we going to talk about? Oh, look.
Someone says we're live. Good job, Richard.
We're live.
Appreciate it. Who's Dale Robinson?
I have no idea.
Whoa, what's going on, Dale?
What's happening, Dale Robinson? How are you?
So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about bolt extraction, and it's something that I've gotten really good at. I mean, it's not something.
A lot of bolts.
Yeah, you don't want to be good at it, but I've gotten really good at it.
Yeah. I broke 3 bolts this weekend. So.
Just this weekend. What are you doing? You pulling the?
Well, pulling a motor, and then.
Yeah, we got
snap the U-bolt on my XJ.
We got a 62 289 for sale. The run's
58,000 original miles.
58,000
numbers. Only thing that's aftermarket on it is the fuel pump and the carburetor.
But it runs good.
But that's the problem, is no one wants to buy Ford motors.
Yeah, why would, I mean, in the LS world.
Yeah, everything's LS now.
Hey, the beverage today is, we did it on the first show when it was just me, but it's this Kool-Aid stuff with
Your wife says hi.
With
the heart.
Hi, Jolene. With the lobster top. I don't know if you guys remember those.
If you're young enough.
If you're young enough, at your age, you know, you're just a pup. So, here's what I've learned about bolt extraction, and I'll show you some of the tools that I use. I think the first thing, and you guys are gonna pull your hair out when you hear this. You're absolutely gonna pull your hair out. You gotta have patience, and that's the first thing that you gotta have, and it's the hardest thing to have.
Especially when you just broke a bolt.
When you just, yeah.
If it's in something like your block or whatever,
it's
an issue.
Put you on suicide watch, you know. But that's the one thing. I've gotten in a hurry, and I've, you know, tried to get a drill in there and just hammer through it.
And just destroyed it.
And just made everything worse. And then you're buying a new cylinder head, or, you know. I remember when, I mean, I have so many, I might have to go back to therapy after talking about this, because it's taken a long time to learn some patience. But, I mean, I'll just run you through some scenarios of the patience. And it's probably the hardest thing is you gotta just slow down and take a minute and refigure it out and come at it with a new approach, because you get in a hurry again, you get frustrated, you start throwing tools. You know, I'm the son of a tool thrower. It's not fun, right? That was hard to, you know, that was a good lesson in patience, to not do it like my dad did it. But clean it up, get a good visual on it. Always, I mean, everybody's seen it, you know, you can use the standard extractors. You know, I've got a set of Irwins that, you know, I've had forever. Use a little heat sometimes, if you can. You know, we've done that, heated up the outside a little bit. Get some PV blaster in it. I'm a big believer in the PV blaster, especially if you got a little heat going on.
Heat and, yeah, because rust and heat, that's one of the best ways to break rust. But not too much heat, depending on the part.
I learned from an old welder. His name was Mike Phelps. He's probably one of the best welders I've ever known. You know, he always, anytime he went after a bolt or something like that, he would always heat it. You know, the whole house, you know, whatever it was in, and then throw some WD-40 or some PV blaster or something in it.
Yeah.
And that heat breaks down the rust or whatever is holding it in there. But the best thing I think I have ever bought, and it's made by Craftsman, and I absolutely love these because they'll go down to, you know, about 1.5 millimeters, but they're an extractor that spins backwards. right? So you put it in your drill, and you drill, center punch it first, right? We're getting ahead of this.
It'll start wandering.
Yeah, center punch. I always use a pretty small center punch, so I can get a good alignment on it. That's going to be the key. If it's on an angle, get it ground flat, so that the bolt that you're pulling out is flat, because that's going to be, take a little angle grinder, give it a little touch so it's flat, and then when you center punch it, it's frustrating. This is what we use for center punching, and yes, it's a little, but it's more than
effective.
what a lot of people use.
Yeah.
But I see people.
But you want one good blow, not 17
Yeah,
crappy blows.
exactly, and that's exactly
So
why.
start
Because you can
wandering.
just give it a tap
Yeah.
with this one, just give it but give it a light tap and make a little mark
Yeah.
and see where it's at, right? Get back in there, and this is part of the patience. Is you have to, because most of the time they're in really bad places. You got to use mirrors. I have a little camera that I put on my phone now, an endoscope that we use to see into the really bad spots.
Yeah.
But give it a little tap with this, and if you have to adjust it, exercise some patience and get set up where you need, and then give it a little more taparoo with this hammer, and you're off and running, right? Sometimes this hammer's too much to get into there, and then you're in there with the tack hammer, and it's understandable.
Upside down.
So
everywhere.
once you're center punched, and you can do it the old way. Once I bought these, I've had these for 16 years, 17 years. I've never broke one. I'm not absolutely sure that Craftsman still offers them.
I don't think they do.
Anyways, you put this in a drill, and you spin it backwards, and it starts drilling the bolt out. And you've got different sizes, and you got different options. But when you drill it out, seriously, 9 out of 10 times, the bolt comes out before you have to actually seat the extractor into it. Just the bolt and the reverse drill bit will eventually grab it and pull it out. But the other thing you can do, and we'll do a little write-up on this on the blog.
Do you know how to say that first name? Someone said, "What's up?" I don't know how to say your first name. I don't want to butcher it live, but what's going on?
That's
I could try it, but I'd have to know where you're from.
I can't even try that name.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, so once you get it drilled out a little bit, you can seat this extractor in that just goes in right above the drill bit, and as it pops in there, go slow.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like tapping. When you're tapping threads.
Yeah.
You don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
Because it'll just break that off inside the bolt.
Yeah. If you break if you break an extractor off inside the bolt,
just go take a nap.
Yeah.
Because you're done.
You need to revisit it at some other time, because you've heard me out in the garage, after I broke something and I didn't want to. Yeah, it's not good, because you can't drill a tap.
I've done it a lot.
You can't drill a tap. Where was I?
Have it seated and go slow.
Have it seated, go slow, work it out. Sometimes just before you even really get going, you could take a punch, a pit, like a drift punch, and tap the bolt and get it to jar just a little bit. You want to get things moved around just a little bit.
And that's a good point. Ryan just commented, welding a nut to it and use a wrench.
That is.
And that works for if it's, sticking out. But
you can get them when they're in a little bit.
You can somewhat. But depending on the size too, and if you're a good enough welder, because some people don't know how to do that.
Yeah, and you got to be careful
because you'll stick the bolt, you'll weld it inside. That works for sure, because I've done that a lot. But you have to be careful, and it depends on the circumstance.
And not everybody has them. You're gonna want to use a MIG welder for that.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, you could do it with a stick, but
Or
I think
TIG
TIG would be tough. TIG would be really tough.
But you can still control the heat pretty well.
Yeah. But when you do that, I always use just a slightly oversized nut over the top of
Well, I would
it.
almost weld, if it was sticking in, I would weld a post to it and then a nut onto that. Like,
If it's big enough.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I don't ever work with like tiny things. If something small breaks, you know, it's not on an engine or something critical, I'm just gonna drill it out and retap it for something else. So
Yeah. That's what I like about this set is it, you know, it goes from pretty sizable. That's probably at least a 5/16,
yeah,
maybe a little bigger.
when you can do that on pretty serious hardware.
Yeah, and I've never had to even sharpen these. You know, they
No.
don't get used a lot.
But that's why you have to be slow, because you don't have to sharpen it means the steel is so hard because it holds an edge that it will shear off very easily if you're making jerky movements or
Yeah,
get a little off center.
yeah. But the key is patience.
Yeah.
And
If you have to put everything down and go
if you can
take
calmly
a break, that's probably the best thing you could do. If you're like us, because some people can just keep their cool and they're fine.
Who?
I'm not like that. I don't know.
I don't
Weird
think
people.
any Jeep people could do that.
Probably not in this country at least.
No. Which brings me, and I think Dan Pulsford actually.
This guy saying, Richard was saying, never managed to get the extractors to work. He's too impatient. Welded it, and that's the thing. Last bolt he just welded a nut to it, and
Yeah. No, and that works if that's, you know,
if
you've got a welder and that works, absolutely.
that's fast. Like you just have to get
Yeah.
it lined up, zip it on.
Plus the heat from the weld, let it cool
Well,
down, but
right.
then the heat's gonna break down
break
some
down
of
whatever
whatever's
it is.
in there.
Yeah.
You know, cast iron is, you know, most people are breaking stuff off in cast
Hey,
iron.
Gabe says, hey.
Again,
Go on, Gabe.
and I think what gave me the idea for this show was I think Dan Pulsford from Utah. Everybody knows Dan. He's got
On the Utah Jeep crew.
had the Cherokee Chief. He had to sell it to get his house, which was a
really
sad
sucks.
day. It was
But
really.
there's always the next build.
We'll get
Sure.
you another one, right? You know, bigger, better, badder, whatever. But he broke off, or he rounded off a nut,
Oh yeah.
right? And that brings me to this set, and this is it's basically it's a nut. Why am I showing on the smallest one?
I don't know.
The biggest one. Let's
Point
pull
it
out
at
the
him.
biggest one.
Get close.
It's a nut like this, and this is a set also made by Craftsman.
What are those things called?
I have no idea.
It's a.
Rounded nut spinny outers.
That's what it is.
This isn't going to come up a lot, you know, not as much as an extraction,
But
but this is sized so that when
Right.
you put it on a rounded off nut, give it a little bit of a twist, it actually bites into the nut
yeah.
and seats on it, and then you pull it out or off.
But even with that too, you can also weld a nut to the rounded nut and spin it off.
I've
Yes, sir.
actually welded a socket to the nut.
Yeah, I think whatever works. Or
Always-
you take a size smaller, or like metric smaller, and just hammer it on. Just
That's
bam.
you know.
But we're not nice to our tools.
One
That's
thing,
something you
but
know.
that's the thing is we have, you know, we've got some good, you know, nice tools,
And a lot
right?
of
And then we got some
multiples.
junk tools that get welded and twisted and
Well, and
bent
if we
and-
break a socket, you know, like split it a little bit, just zip it back together and use it
for
extraction.
secondary stuff. Yeah. How's that Kool-Aid?
It's it burns the throat nicely. It's not.
This isn't like regular Kool-Aid.
No, this is like the big boy. Like it sat in a barrel for a while. Kool-Aid.
You think you should have been over 21 to buy this?
It's pretty strong.
It's a little fermented. Not really.
Well, it's made out of sugar, so I don't know how that'll work.
What else we got to add? You guys got anything to add? Let's see it.
Any questions?
I'll keep talking.
Concerns?
And
Tell us to go away. That's fine.
no, they can't do that.
Well, they can tell us, but
Well, they can just go
we
away.
can decide to listen or not.
Yeah. Anybody got any ideas or got any thoughts on the new audio setup? Is it better?
Yeah,
You
does
can
it
hear-
sound like volume where we're turning
What's
our
going
heads
on
or
here?
What? That's the extractor using Gabe.
See, Nicole's watching, but I don't think that's Nicole. I think she probably handed her phone to Rick. Right?
Probably has.
Am I right? Or Cody's watching it. We should do a show with Cody sometime. I think that'd be a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, he's my. What is he? He's
Ryan says he noticed the mic and it's much better. Well, the last one we did was just the GoPro audio and it was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Because it's like 7 feet away.
So I got to tell you about my nephew
Tom says
Cody.
it sounds perfect. So
Thanks,
awesome.
Tom.
I appreciate it.
So Cody, back to Cody. He's my nephew, right? 4th generation Jeeper. The kid, both of Rick and Nicole's kids have grown up in
Oh, for sure.
the Jeep.
Yeah.
Madeline.
Well,
Was,
they
what?
they
10
grew,
days
their
old.
parents grew up in Jeeps.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
Just
That's
a
true.
continuation.
But Cody, is he 6 now? 6 or 7?
He's like 8.
Is he 8?
He's 8.
I'm sorry, I lose track. Anyways, this kid, for his whole life, has known more about Jeeps than most people I've ever
Oh, yeah.
met. He could.
Your average
kid could
foreign
actually-
goer, he's much more knowledgeable.
Yeah, he's at
It's
4
just
years
experience.
old.
It's experience.
It is, and his dad Rick is, really
Very good driver.
very good driver, but he's also a great builder.
Great teacher, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, and he's tried just about every way to do something with his
Yeah.
build. He's done a lot of.
the Jeep is the LJ7.
What's his Instagram handle? Rick's?
RNCM _ off road. That's
Look it
that's
up.
Rick.
His Jeep's gone through quite the process.
He built an LJ Link CJ7, and that CJ7 has been rebuilt.
Someone from Bolivia.
I don't know how many times. Bolivia.
That's kind of cool. We've never had Bolivia
Nice.
before.
Jorge Suarez
La
from
Paz.
Bolivia.
Isn't there a La Paz, Mexico?
Yeah, there
In
is a
Baja?
La Paz.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's where the Baja 1000
Right.
finishes all the way at the end.
Right. That's cool. Good to hear from you.
Right on.
Audio is great. Wait. Maybe close up on the different types of extractors. Oh, maybe go take them over there. To the
You take him
camera.
over there.
I'm hardwired in right now. I'm monitoring audio.
So which camera do I show him to?
The live one. We don't care about the YouTube one. And this will be on YouTube if you don't have time to watch or whatever.
All right, you tell me if it's too close.
All of our episodes are on YouTube.
So that's your
Okay.
standard
There's
extractors.
delays, so you have to stay. You haven't even moved up there yet.
We good?
Yeah. So that's okay. So that's standard.
That's your
extractor.
standard Irwin, $30.
Right.
This is the Craftsman set, and you can see they have different sizes. They're cut backwards so that when you drill it, it actually drills backwards, and the extractor fits into the hole as
Yeah.
it's cut, spins it out.
You have to speak up too because the mic's over here.
I think this set, I think I spent like $80 for this set.
Yeah. But it'll last a lifetime.
Oh man, it's been a while.
Yeah.
2004,
Like you're saying,
2003.
you haven't even sharpened them. Like,
Yeah, I've never had to,
They're solid.
but I have
And
to.
that being said, we break a lot of. We are not the person to sit overnight with PV Blaster and let it loosen. We just crank on it with the biggest breaker bar we have
Look,
until it busts off.
this is the weapon of choice.
Ow, that hurt my ears.
Sorry. If you can't do it with the half-inch impact gun, I don't know what we're doing. Anyways, that's why we break a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and what's get the roundy,
The roundy.
bolty
So
extracty tools.
there's
So this is if
the
you have a rounded bolt head.
or rounded nut.
Or nut, yeah.
So there's the spiral cuts that are inside.
Right.
And you have, all different sizes. This one, I think it comes down to like what size the threads fit through on the back, and that's a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
That's any less than that, you can grab them with some vice grips.
Right. And any bigger than that, and it
But
doesn't really matter.
I'll check it out and see if Craftsman still sells these.
Yeah.
But they have been by far the finest tools.
Yeah, if they do, when we post it on like YouTube, we'll put links in the description. So they're find the good ones, because you don't want a cheap knockoff, because that's not going to help anything.
Yeah, don't go to the freight place for extractors.
Certain things like wrenches you can get away with cheaper. I've broken just about every tool you can buy, every brand of tool you
Except
can
for
think of.
hammers. You ever broken a hammer?
Not the hammer head, but I've broken now I just weld DOM steel to all my hammers because
Yeah, everything's got
I
a
break
steel
everything.
handle. So
I broke like a couple sockets and like a ratchet just this weekend because they're old. That's the thing. That's even Craftsman though. They've lasted how long? 20+ years.
hey, I'm just looking at the video here.
Yeah.
We should get a sponsor for the front of that table. Other than Artec. It's an Artec table, so
That's the thing. Is
you
it's
guys
kind of just its
get
own-
sponsored
every episode,
just
yeah.
because we're using your table.
Should make
And we
awesome
use
tables.
we use the crap out of this table.
Well, everything's attached to it. All our vices, saws, we weld on it, we jig things up,
Mm-hmm.
all of it. We paint on it.
Which isn't advisable.
I wouldn't. Well,
I'm not gonna
put
do that
some
again.
put some cardboard down because you don't want paint on your welding table. But we cleaned it up.
So, any other questions? You guys get a good enough look at them?
I would say that's a pretty solid overview.
Good solid overview.
Yeah.
What do we need to revisit? Oh, Jeep Safari with rugged radios. We're going to be using the BFG Baja Pits frequency.
So if you're in, what we're referring to, if you don't know, is if you're in Jeep Safari this year, Jeep Safari.
2018.
BFG Garage is going to, we're going to be like rescuing people, I guess you could say. If you break down,
You're
call
going to
us-
be rescuing people.
call us on that frequency,
Yeah.
which is built into rugged radios. You can look it up online if you don't have a rugged radio.
You gotta request the list. Easiest thing to do, go buy a rugged radio, and it's already programmed in.
I found them. I think someone posted them on a forum, not
Oh.
officially.
But you look farther than like one page.
I do.
Because I looked
do.
one page and they said you gotta call rugged
You
radios
can find
to get
it.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're helping us out with some of this the work we're gonna be doing with BF Goodrich down at Easter Jeep Safari.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, that's some of my favorite stuff is fixing.
Yeah.
Dragging people
Yeah,
out.
you
It's
never-
fun to figure out how to drag a Jeep out.
You never remember a trail that went 100% smooth.
Yeah, you
You
know,
know,
not as nearly as much as if you lock your keys in your Jeep and overheating and
Why
breaking
do you-
axle shafts, and that's the go-to.
The go-to. Locking, if you lock your keys in your Jeep out
Well,
on the trail, somebody,
get a hammer and smash
somebody
the
needs
window.
to smack you in the head. Because you shouldn't have your top on.
Yeah.
We fixed it. We got through it. That was
Jeeps
actually...
are easier than other cars. You
When
can
was that? Was
unlock
that like
things.
3 or 4 years ago? 4 years ago?
It was on Cane Creek, right?
It was Cane Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got off at Cane Creek at 4 o'clock in the morning. that
And we
year.
started at like
4 o'clock.
It was fun though.
That was a good
time.
one because we had all
broke
kinds of problems.
So much, and there was what, seven or eight
Jeeps.
7 Jeeps.
3 brand new guys.
Yeah, brand new to their Jeeps, brand new to off-roading with manuals, and
That was a
in a
tough one.
stock wheelbase CJ5 with like 31s.
Luckily,
Cane Creek.
we had Dakota had
Imagine
his, had the big nasty. He was leading everybody, dragging everybody up everything that they couldn't make it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that was a long. Of course, we made it. We didn't even throw a strap out, huh?
Yep. Stock TJ 2-inch lift 32s. Pepe, no problem.
Pepe.
That was back when you had BFGs though, because we have BFGs now, but We didn't for a while there.
That was before that other company gave me a set of tires.
But I will say those tires did pretty good.
They were sticky, but man, they were loud on the freeway.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you want like quiet and long miles.
Yeah, I went back to.
With
I had a company give me a set of mud terrains.
Wait,
What?
Gabe has a Comanche? How come he didn't tell us yet?
Gabe, you have a Comanche?
Comanches are awesome.
Don't
Don't ever get rid of it.
play with
If
my
you get rid of
emotions
it-
like that, Gabe.
We'll buy it for whatever you want.
Gabe's our artist.
We lost a Comanche last year, which just sucks, but we want one again.
We'll
We
get
want
one
like
again.
6, but
Anyways, what were we talking about?
tires.
Tires.
How good.
Oh yeah. So this other company, I'm not even gonna mention who they are, but they were decent off road, right?
They were pretty good.
They were decent in the
Well,
snow.
we've only done their mud terrains, and we never took them in the mud.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
I hate mud. Really don't like
I
mud.
think mud's pretty fun, but
But anyways, I'm back on the KM2s. I picked up a set of KM2s.
those are
There's
BFG
just
mud terrains.
there's yeah, BFG mud terrains.
no
Generation
the
2.
sound on the road is just
It's almost they're so much quieter that you can actually hear all the stuff that's wrong with your Jeep,
yeah, that's true.
which isn't
It's
necessarily
neither good
it's-
nor bad.
Yeah, it is what it is.
If it's your daily driver, it's
See, Gabe said Cherokee.
it's Siri spell checked him. Siri, come on.
Oh, Dave, get an adult phone.
Cherokees are cool. I have Cherokee. I love Cherokees. Cherokees do good. I mean,
We do love the Cherokees. How many
well, they
Cherokees
don't
we got in
die.
the
They
family?
don't die. You spend $300 on a piece of crap Cherokee, maintain it a little bit, especially if you get a manual with the 4-liter. You're good.
Yeah,
Like
it's hard one to get. Though.
but you're never gonna break. Those automatics run really well too.
Kool-Aid. I don't know about this whole Kool-Aid thing.
It's a little weird.
It doesn't get any better as you go.
It really doesn't. It's consistent though.
Hey, we need somebody to tell us a story. Who's in Utah? Oh, we need to get Phil down here from Salt Lake Off-Road Expo.
Right.
Phil wants to come in and do a little show with us, and Dan from Venomare.
Oh yeah.
Venomare, they're going to put another system on my Jeep for
double.
me, and I'm looking forward to that because I ran Dan's.
That was
First-
like prototype, right? Like
It was. I think I was the first or second person to ever run it. I've had it for 4 years now, and I love it.
And for that little 2.5 liter.
Yeah, the little 2.5 liter, which I have in my Jeep,
It
and
helps.
judge me all you want. I gave great gas mileage, and I've never broke anything catastrophic because I don't have enough power to.
Well, you've never broken on the trail, like you've worn out parts because it has a lot
I have.
of miles.
I have.
But that doesn't count. That's
So, yeah, we got to get Dan in here. Anybody else? Send us an email or hit the comments and say, let's do a show. I think we should get Cody on here too. Cody would be a hoot.
that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But we're still getting ready for Jeep Safari, and we're gonna
Still
be
working on the Bruce Jeep project.
Bruce. Yeah, if
Bruce
for
Willis.
for for anybody that hasn't watched it, the 52 Willys that we just bought, we're calling it Bruce Willys. So
The guy's got a ZJ, wheeling with heated leather and a sunroof.
that's not wheeling, Richard. That's not wheeling.
It
That's
depends
not
on where you're
wheeling.
at.
No,
What
that's
if you're
not
in the snow?
wheeling. That's not wheeling.
You
You have to risk hypothermia and or heat exhaustion.
Yeah, I don't even want to hear it. You wanted to turn the heater on in here, you little wuss.
It's a little cold in here.
He's
My
a
arms
wuss.
like going blue from sitting
You're a
on
wuss.
this.
No, that works. Well, plus ZJ is like it's a sweet spot for like coils, but all the ZJs we've owned are just electrically have so many issues.
They do have a lot.
But
of
we don't
issues.
treat our Jeeps very well. I like bare, like,
They're fun to jump.
yeah. we're not nice to our Jeeps.
Actually, that guy that was out there at Little Moab had that gutted out ZJ.
Yeah.
And that thing was so well balanced.
Well, and there's a guy who races Jeep Speed and Hammers who has a ZJ.
Yeah.
It's a cage ZJ. It's actually a couple people.
We like all things Jeep.
Yeah. If they can prove their.
Well, it's just like that last video. That
Right.
guy actually got a hold of me in that new Cherokee.
That, and I didn't
That cat
hate
could-
them,
that
but I
cat
didn't
could
care.
drive.
That's the thing. Is it wheels good? But that's the thing. Like I hate WJs. Like they're all right, but for snow driving or ice driving,
We took
You're not gonna get
we
much
took
better
the
than a
WJ
WJ.
out. What 4 years ago
And
out
it
in an
was
ice storm.
a perfect.
We
like,
were the only people driving around.
near finish ice. Like you couldn't walk on it at all
Yeah,
unless you had spikes on your shoes.
yeah.
And it had bald tires, but with that freaking all-wheel drive.
We slid over to
Straight
the
up.
curb
Right, but
and rode the curb line up some of the
it was
hills
bald
here in
tires.
Utah.
It wasn't.
They weren't bald.
They were pretty bald.
They weren't. Yeah, they weren't.
They were
They
crap.
weren't the freshest
They
tires.
were old. They were like
They were
8 years
junk.
old.
But you know what? I hadn't checked the air pressure in them in a long time, so I think we
They
were
were
probably
down.
down around 12 psi.
Oh, that's a message for me.
Somebody just messaged Spencer.
That's me. We're done. Mike says what's
Hi,
up.
Mike.
Mike.
Sorry we didn't let you know that we were doing the show.
It was last minute.
Last minute, we're setting up and we're going. But hey, we're gonna do a show tomorrow. We're gonna do a show tomorrow, 6:30 tomorrow.
Which, yeah. Well, roughly.
We might have to get some pizza.
Pizza? Oh, 'cause it's Friday.
It's Friday. It's Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday.
I think we better get some Marcos or something.
I like pizza.
Pizza's good.
Pizza is good.
All right.
All right.
You guys look forward to the next show. We
Yeah.
got some more information coming out. Check this one out.
Put on YouTube or whatever.
Get some comments rolling back in here. Let's have some feedback. And,
Past shows are on YouTube if you care to watch.
yeah, we got all of this mess on YouTube. But yeah, thanks guys. Be safe out there.